Hi everyone, this is Nia and today I'm going to paint this simple soft ocean waves. This is actually my first time to paint this texture, but it looks simple enough so I gave it a go and it was so relaxing to paint. I started out by looking at a lot of photos with this water texture to figure out some key points, and here I'm just going to sketch out the basic texture that I had in my head as I was painting. I want to create these types of strokes. They kind of look like those Egyptian eye hieroglyphs, or you can also think of these as ovals with ends being very stretched and tapered. And I like to place these shapes alternating each other with a bit of space in between them. And I want these textures to be bigger as they're closer to us, and smaller and flatter as it's placed further to build depth and distance in the painting. This is just something to keep in mind, but if the strokes create something else, it's okay as long as the strokes are more or less alternating each other and getting smaller at the back. It should do the trick. It doesn't have to be neat. In fact, water can look quite abstract, so you don't want to make something that looks like a full pattern. Sometimes there may be large negative spaces left, especially for the areas in front where the strokes are quite large. And in between those large strokes, I like to add extra squiggles in between to act as some water reflection. And here, after cleaning out the edges, hopefully you can start to see a bit of what looks like soft water textures after only playing with repetitive simple shapes and playing with the size as well as the width, and also by alternating the placement. For the colors, I'm only going to use these three. This is Cerrulean Blue by Holbein, Indigo by Schmincke, and Blade Proof White by Dr. P.H. Martins. Before I start to paint, I'm just going to mask the edges. I'm just going to use washi tape here, but you can also use masking tape. Once the edges are secured, I'm going to start by dampening the surface to paint the sky. And for this, since I'm just going to divide it into two spaces for the sky and the water, I'm only going to dampen this around halfway down. And as for the color, I'm going to use a mix of these two blues. I want the sky to be lighter and slightly brighter, so I'm going to use cerulean blue as the main blue, but I'm going to add a bit of indigo to mute down the color. This way, the overall painting will have a consistent tone all throughout. I'm going to start by painting the edges. I want the edges to be nice and neat next to the tape, and I'm going to leave some white spaces for the clouds. And since I'm painting on a damp surface, those white areas will somewhat blur out as well. I want the color to slightly fade as I get towards the bottom, but I want to introduce a little bit more indigo since the waves or the texture of the water is going to be mostly indigo. I want the horizon to somewhat slowly disappear into the background. While the surface is still damp, I'm going to roll up a bit of tissue and lift some colors. I'm going to somewhat twist my wrist in order to get some cloud textures. Since there isn't much contrast between the lifting and the background color, I'm just going to manually paint on around the edges so there's a little bit more definition to the clouds. If I feel like I've accidentally lifted too much for the clouds, I'm just going to paint over it, still taking advantage of the damp surface so the edges are still nice and soft. Okay, so that's it for the sky. I don't really want to bring too much attention to the top because I want the water to be the main focal point. So now I'm going to start dampening the rest of my paper. I want this to be evenly dampened without any puddles. . If you've created a puddle, you can always take it off with a clean dry brush and dab the excess off on the tissue next to you. Once the surface is evenly dampened, I'm going to start to paint. I'm using my flat brush here in order to cover more space. And I'm starting with, again, a mixture of cerulean blue and indigo. This is around 70% cerulean blue and a little bit of indigo, since indigo is very pigmented. I like to start with a lighter color, and to make this look a bit more dynamic, I'm making the lines closest to us a bit more diagonal instead of horizontal. I'm just painting lines and leaving some white negative space, and I want those negative spaces to somewhat resemble what I drew out earlier, so I don't want them to stack up on top of each other, but if I can, make them slightly alternating each other instead. As I get towards the top, I want the lines to be thinner and a bit further apart, and I'm also going to space them out for now, leaving a lot of white space, especially as I get closer to the horizon. The reason is because I want the horizon to be much lighter than the foreground, so I don't want to place too much color straight from the beginning. Now with the color that's left on my brush, I'm going to clean it and dab off the excess. There should still be just a slight tint of the blue left, and I'm going to use my almost dry brush to create some really thin horizontal lines near the horizon. But hopefully you can see that the color is very subtle for now. And I'm just going to slightly neaten out what I've painted so far. I feel like I have a pretty good base for now. There's a nice transition between the foreground and the horizon with the colors. So now I'm just going to dry everything off so I can work on a fresh surface. I still want to create blurred edges, so I'm going to dampen the surface of the water again evenly, and I'm not going to go too overboard, making sure that there are no puddles. So next I'm going to start darkening the value. This is again from a mix of those two colors. As you can see, there's a bit more indigo in the ratio now. And I'm using around a medium to a thick consistency. But since I'm painting on a damp surface, the paint will still spread out. And when it dries, it will look lighter. I'm going to paint more texture on top of the light blue color that I placed earlier as the base. And I again want to leave out some negative space in between, and if the surface is too damp and the paint starts to blend with each other too much, I can always lift the excess with a clean dry brush. Here I've also switched to my synthetic brush since I feel I can collect more pigment compared to water, whereas softer bristles will generally collect more water. I'm just slowly painting the texture of the water little by little, imagining what I drew out earlier. And I'm making the textures fairly thick since I want them to look like it's closer to us. After I get around halfway up the water section, I'm going to go back to the foreground again and add a bit more detail by increasing the value little by little. Here I'm using a thicker consistency with a bit more indigo, and I'm just following the areas where I've painted darker and still leaving out the white negative space. I feel like the foreground is fairly damp, so I'm going to move to the area closer to the horizon. I've just lightly dampened it, and I'm going to use the color that I've already pre-mixed on my palette, but a lighter consistency. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I want the light to somewhat come from the left side. So as you can see, the lines are a bit closer together on the right hand side, so they look more dense compared to the left side, where it's generally lighter. For the thin brush strokes or the thin lines, I'm using a dry brush load. As you can see, my brush come to a very fine tip and there's a flat side. I'm going to use this flat side in order to create those really thin, delicate lines. The lines are still going to spread since I am painting on a damp surface, but I want to make sure that I'm also using a really light consistency for the background so I don't accidentally overwork it. So from here, I'm going to start adding the darker values again, especially for the foreground, just following the areas that I've painted earlier as the base. Sometimes creating this zigzagging motion also helps to create the water texture, but if you're painting on the background, just make sure you're using a really light consistency and a light brush load so those lines doesn't accidentally become too dark. Here, going back to the foreground again, I feel like the surface is starting to dry but is still a little bit damp. So as I'm painting a bit more detail, you can see that some of the edges still tries to bleed out. And whenever this happens, if it's too distracting, I would just use a clean damp brush or a clean dry brush to soften the edges. When I'm painting the darker values, I want to make sure that the previous layer still shows through in between the dark values. The more layering we create, the better the form of the water will look. As I'm getting to the mid area, I'm using a slightly lighter consistency, and you can see that the texture that I create are also thinner. This is key in order to make your composition have depth. I feel like I'm ready to create some harsh edges for the details on the foreground especially, so I made sure everything is completely dry before adding on these details. Playing with the soft and harsh edges makes the painting look a bit more convincing and realistic in my opinion, so I don't want to overwork this part. Instead, I want to use this opportunity to paint very fine abstract reflections on the latter part of the water. So this will somewhat look like separate textures to what we've painted earlier, but I am still following the movement of the water. As I am painting in between the water texture, I also want to leave out some white negative space, following the movement of the water again. And this will somewhat act as guide as I add the sparkly highlights later on. Painting this texture is very therapeutic, so just enjoy the repetitive process. When I painted this, I didn't have much energy as I had a pretty bad flare-up, and I was in the process of detoxing, so I decided to paint something relaxing. And I really enjoyed this painting process, so I hope this is something that you can also wind down with if it's not your day. I feel like I'm pretty happy with the water texture, so next I'm going to add on the highlights. I'm using a thick consistency of bleed proof white, and I'm looking at lightest areas where I can add on some highlights so the edges kind of look like it's blurry even though it's not. But I'm also going to add some in other random areas as well, and I can make the highlights look blurry manually by softening the edges with a clean damp brush. And since I want the light source to come from the left side, I'm making the highlights a bit heavier on the left compared to the right hand side. What I'm doing now is optional, but I want this to look more sparkly. So for the larger highlights closer to our view, I'm going to add subtle stars. I just want to add really thin lines with a dry brush load. And then to make this more subtle, I'm going to blur it out ever so slightly with a clean damp brush. And I'm just going to repeat this for a few of them. Just like the texture of the water itself, for the highlights closer to the horizon, I'm going to make them smaller and thinner. But as for the foreground, I'm going to create a mix of the two, so some are larger with the stars, but others are small tiny dots to enhance the water texture. I feel like I have a pretty good amount of detail, but I want to balance everything out. I just have a look at the whole composition and look at certain things that I can enhance on. If I feel like the horizon looks a bit too empty, I'm just going to add on to it. Same goes for everything else. Once I feel like everything's balanced, I'm going to unmask and reveal the painting. And that's it for this one. I really love the process of painting these soft water textures, and I hope you learned something new in the process. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please consider subscribing for more content. Like usual, the list of tools as well as my social media links will be in the description box. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!